Hello and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
And I'm Elle.
And I'm Avery.
That's Avery. Yay!
My
Hey!
besties!
Okay.
It's my first time.
Woo! So it is your first time, and I know that I just got done telling you that I prepared you. But what I didn't prepare you for is this thing that I do when it's everyone's first time on this podcast. I just have to ask, what's your favorite scary movie or movie that has scared you?
Oh shit. um well honestly the first one that just came to mind is The Haunting of Hill House. Because it was being talked about in the chat and it reminded me that I had seen it and it was very good. Well, it was decent at like having some really subtle scares, which is like my favorite. So
I like it. Solid answer. And it took you less time than a lot of people. So
it was just because it was on the top of my head. So
Yeah.
that's okay. I can't tell you who because it will embarrass her, but somebody I know recently told me a movie that traumatized them, Mars Attacks. I said, I'll never judge. I'll never judge.
I don't even remember
yeah.
that movie, but I mean, I can kind of remember some of the imagery from it. And if I was young enough, yeah, I could see that.
I
Oh,
don't know that she
definitely.
was a child when
Oh,
I can't remember. But like to each their own,
Mhm.
and some
Yeah.
people really like that movie. I'm not one of those people, but
I don't remember it, so.
it's a judgment-free zone.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are continuing Ted Raimi month. This is not a movie that he's in, but that's okay because it was an experience for me when I shared it with Elle. So we're covering it. It is, what episode is this of Supernatural? Season 4.
Season 4, episode 8,
Yeah,
Wishful Thinking.
wishful thinking. Because I
Mhm.
literally, as soon as I saw him, said, "Wait a minute, is that Ted? What's Ted doing here?"
That my man's.
Thank you to my man. Um, this is one of the more fun episodes of Supernatural, I think, but they also got in some of that deep brotherly lying to each other that
Mhm.
is always there.
I mean, that's just the core principle of the show, if we're
Lie to
being
your
real
brother.
honest.
Yeah. Lie to your family. Lie.
Yeah.
Gaslight.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Yep.
Period. Okay, that's why they grow their hair out and stuff. Girl boss, how do you want to approach this episode? Should we crawl through the plot or should we just start talking about how shitty they were to Ted?
Fuck the plot. The one thing I will say about the plot that's a little different than the average supernatural one, because it seems like Dean actually does the smart boy stuff while Sam's
Yeah,
out doing the action, that was a switch up. That's not I'm not used to that.
I did like that.
I mean, yeah, so I'm here for the podcast listeners because I am apparently the resident supernatural expert.
Yes.
I unfortunately have consumed the entire show
I haven't finished yet.
and
I
was
have.
very involved in the fandom. So um I have to say like Dean actually is like kind of on the smarter scale on the like in the series. I will defend him a little bit. But he he presents as the like dumb boy, but he does actually have some intelligent points.
Yeah, he did. Mm,
What I really like about Supernatural, if I can, I don't want to
Mhm.
take the show
you
away from
can.
you or anything.
Go.
What
Go.
I really like about Supernatural is that every season has like its own distinct vibe, and its own distinct like place in time, I guess. Not necessarily like a reflection of the era in which it was made, but definitely that's part of it. So season 4 was 2008 to 2009, and I thought that this episode was a little bit of a time capsule into that era, and certainly into some of the baseline assumptions made in popular culture during that era, which sounds a little controversial, but
Yeah.
Not here. We do hot takes.
Avery had said something to me that this was like peak incel culture for this, and I was like,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
his face isn't perfectly symmetrical and he's wearing glasses. So there's no way anybody with the pussy is gonna look at him. Come on.
Okay, just really briefly about the plot, just for just a tiny bit of context. Okay, just a tiny little bit, then we can just keep going. Ted's a coin collector, and he just throws Babylonian coin into a wishing well in a
Sexy
Chinese
coin
restaurant.
collector. Sexy coin collector.
Sexy
Okay.
coin collector, daddy collector coin.
Yes.
So hot he made my brain break just then. But he throws it into the wishing well, and that has just like made his wish come true. And then every subsequent wish after comes true. And there are some very funny ones, like the teddy bear that turned giant with an existential crisis. Little boy Todd, who you know, he got really strong, so he went after his bullies. Those are so precious. Okay. Invisible weirdo creeping in the shower, not okay. I'm glad he got hit with a car. So that. But my thing about Ted's wish, he wished for a hot girl who grew up in his town and never knew who he was. My issue immediately when they're investigating and they don't even know what's going on, Sam's side-eyeing them in the restaurant. Like, there's no fucking way he could get. I mean, she's pretty, but like, they're just people. And the only thing I can say is that they put him in clothes that didn't really fit him, and they held his hair a little stiff. But Mans is not bad looking.
No.
The entire premise of the episode hinges on the idea that a moderately attractive woman would be like that there is no way that a slightly balding schlubby guy with glasses could possibly date her. Like, that is the entire premise of the episode.
And yet the entire like 90s sitcom aesthetic was schlubby balding man with a really hot wife. So like, make up your mind, society.
That's why I'm telling you, it is such a time capsule into 2008, because that is the most like 2008 incel like looks match kind of garbage that was floating around in the culture, in the zeitgeist, and that was that.
They did my man's dirty, that's all I can say, because I totally would.
I mean, we go on tangents, okay? That's like the main tangent point that we go on this podcast, is all the like weird little crushes that we have. And when we were talking about like how this started, I just said I feel like it's because I'm aggressively pansexual. Like I'm attracted to the strangest things, and that's okay. But there's like a bajillion people just like me. Like, wow, the way that you fold your clothes is so hot. Like, oh, stop.
I mean, in fairness to like Ted, I really think that he kind of dodged a bullet from the lady. I mean, at the very end, when he takes his wish back and like does it all, she just kind of walks away like a very confused glitching sim. So like, honestly, just I think he dodged a bullet.
Yeah,
I think so too, but I also think it's very strange to grow up somewhere and not know somebody at all, because like I grew up in a small town, but I graduated high school from a bigger one, and like even if it's people that you don't associate with, you're familiar, especially if you grow up into adulthood. with these people, I think it's very kind of disgusting to be so wrapped up in your own world that you don't even know who, you've never seen him before.
In
Right.
Concrete, Washington, a
I
town
just
of 700.
Yes,
Okay,
I
bitch.
just looked at that up and I was like, really? I think that my town is slightly bigger. Yeah, my town's population is 14,230. And I think I would recognize most. I mean maybe not at this point, but you know, a lot of the class that I graduated with, maybe I'm not great with everyone's faces and names, but if I like just came to in a restaurant standing next to one of them, I would just be like,
It
"Oh,
would
hey."
trigger. Like
Yeah.
I know you, mister. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like literally,
Literally, she doesn't say anything. She's
no.
like, "Do I know you?" And then walks away like a glitching NPC.
Like
Yeah.
you canceled her action. Like she was a sim and you're like, oh, get married, and then you canceled it and she's like,
Okay, I guess I'll wander off now. Like
I
literally head empty. Just
it's not, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not really plausible here. Like, nice try, supernatural writers. I used to work at Babies R Us in Daytona Beach, Florida. Okay. I did the baby registries for pregnant women. This girl once came in with her grandmother, sat down in front of me, and we're just staring at each other. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And like, she had gotten married, she had a different last name, whatever. I'm like, you look so familiar. And she's like, I was gonna say the same thing. Why the fuck we graduated together in Grand Haven, Michigan, and we bump into each other in Daytona to do her baby registry. But it triggered for both of us, and we never said a word to each other. Okay?
Hmm.
Not one. I don't want to hear it.
that is wild.
Yeah, I think that most people are like that. And like I said, I'm from a slightly bigger small town in Washington, and if I saw somebody that I would at least ask. I at least wouldn't like, especially like, do I know you? At least wait for him to answer the question, have a conversation. Why am I here? It's so weird. Like I just
How did I
found
get
myself
here?
here.
I don't
You know,
remember
do
the
you know
last month of my
anything?
life.
Right.
Yeah. I'm face blind. I can't recognize anyone, even if even if they're my best friend until they like talk or I recognize their haircut because I'm just very bad. But like I have a few questions. I wouldn't just like wander off into the street like what
And she was
happened?
Yeah.
in Sam's mouth. Like she was very close to his face, just like, and then keeps
Yeah.
walking.
Well,
Mhm.
and they're like doubling down on this idea like you can't always get what you want kind of thing that they were saying in the cars, like this philosophy that we have to teach you. Like even though we're hot, we don't always get what we want kind of thing. Because Ted says something in the car about that. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's that's not how anything works. Like you know, maybe you can't, but like fuck's sake, like this is just it was just too corny. It was too corny. It didn't work. It was clunky. It felt like they were trying to get to some philosophical point that just felt stupid.
That's also not true though, because they can just pull bitches wherever they go roll into town. It's just a fact. They
Yes,
do.
but
If
so
they
could
want
Ted
one,
Raimi. Ted
he
Raimi could
could.
1,000% pull
Well,
bitches.
you
All you
know,
have to do is believe you can pull bitches and you will pull bitches.
that's
I can pull
it.
bitches. Look at me. I can
You're
pull
hot. What do you mean? We
I'm
all you
mid.
have to do is be a
I can
little
pull bitches.
delusional and believe in yourself. Okay, just be like
Yes.
I mean, that's how I like to live my life. I just like to think that I can have whatever I want
Exactly.
because who's
Exactly.
gonna stop
Delulu.
me? Who's gonna tell me other? Mind your business. This is my life. I'm the main
Yes.
character here. Mind your
Exactly.
business. But
It
also,
truly is the incel anthem like episode,
Yes, it is.
unfortunately.
well, they had to add extra juice because everything that we're saying about Ted is obviously true because they had to
Yes.
throw in towards the end where she's like, Wes is in between jobs right now. Like, oh, and he's jobless? Like,
Slouching over in that chair to make
yeah.
it look like he was fat. And it's like,
It's not
Okay.
working. We
I can
see
just
you.
hear Mel in my ear talking about scoliosis. My God,
We need a summon Mel button.
we do summon Mel to come and roast us for liking
Like,
nerds.
no, we're thirsting over nerdy men again. Help.
It's just like, I don't know.
But it's fine. Everybody has. I think it's just silly. I mean, it's a fun like throwaway episode, but like this is Ted Raimi month, so obviously we're gonna go a little bit ham.
Yeah.
There's something attractive about everybody. So
Exactly.
This is one of the like jokier episodes of the season. But like I don't know. There are like a bunch of very Supernatural tends to have like at least a jokey episode per season. And this is not one of the best jokey episodes. I know what the episode is, but I cannot remember its name. It's the one with Felicia Day where they're at a LARPing event.
so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
So good.
It's the episode that I would definitely like. Oh, if you want to like watch Supernatural and you're like a little intimidated and don't know where to start and you just kind of want to get a taste for the silliness that is this show, that is the episode I would be showing people.
That's a really good recommendation because I would have done the one with the like ghost sickness and Dean's scared by the cat and he shrieks like a lady for like 5 minutes straight. It's just I will rewind that part just to watch it again because it makes me laugh so much.
Also, the episode title is LARP and the Real Girl. I remember.
Hell yeah.
Or more correctly, I have the Supernatural Wikia page up just to remind myself of details. But it was really nice to watch this episode because the original Supernatural show was supposed to end after season 5. And so it was written with the idea of a 5-season arc that would end. So season 4 was really nice because it was like, oh look, there's a character arc, there's like character growth or change or evolution, and they're not just like literally doing the same point over and over and over again. So there was like a moment with Sam where they were at the wishing well and Dean was like, oh, you could go back to being a lawyer and all that stuff, and Sam was like, nah, that's not me anymore. That was like, oh look, character growth. Unfortunately, the debate between Sam leaving the hunting life or staying in it would become the next like entirety of the rest of his conflict in every other season. But you know.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know that tidbit about when it was supposed to end when I like first watched this show, but fun fact, I have watched the first like 6 seasons or something like that a bunch of times because I couldn't bring myself to keep going, but then after the show ended, I said, "Okay, I'm committed." I'm currently in season 11 trying to push past. I always reach walls with them because I'm emotionally invested. I'm entangled in their shit. I just am. They feel like real people that I unfortunately know.
That is so true. Unfortunately, I genuinely have to say, like, it doesn't get better from season 11. It just gets worse. And Supernatural has this brilliant ability to completely and utterly ruin everything that you enjoyed about the show in retrospect.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're like, all right, I'm battered and I'm fucked up, I'm bruised, and I need to keep going. And so I'm just scraping, like dragging myself. And Elle warned me about some stuff that was going to happen, and I was pissed about it. So that took me longer to like keep going because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get that shit.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The whole thing where like there's the alternate universe version of everyone, and when Crowley actually dies, that was where I was like ready to get off the bus, but I powered through to I had to see the super hell thing because everyone was memeing about it on Tumblr.
I didn't
And
hear about
so
that. Don't tell me about it.
okay. When you get there, let me know because I need to talk to you about it.
You absolutely know that I will text you immediately and be like, what the hell?
Please add me to that group chat
Okay.
because I have a video I need to show you or two.
My chest hurts.
The meltdown of Super Hell on Tumblr was an experience.
It was.
I just
It convinced me to watch the last season because I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna watch this. And then I saw all the memes and I was like, okay, I guess I gotta watch it.
Oh my god. All right. Might as well keep watching Supernatural at the same time as I resume reading Lasher, because why not? I'm waiting until I'm completely unpacked in my new life to do this thing.
Isn't that the equivalent of just binge drinking every weekend? You're doing as much brain damage to yourself.
Yes, and your weekend starts on Thursday. I remember Supernatural being on, like, in those movies, but I didn't watch it because
I didn't either.
I was still heavy in the Christian guilt, and I was like, ooh, that sounds like something I shouldn't be watching at all. Which, like, I mean, kind of, but I got over that. But I feel like I would have loved, I probably would have been like one of those people, like I probably would have been deep in that because I used to have time.
But something that like really stood out to me, having watched the show and taken a step back from it, and now like getting back into it, is just like how formulaic it is. Like you're going to get your 15 minutes of Dean and Sam having season-wide plot at the beginning and end. You're going to have like a little bit of like season plot like development at the like middle mark, but it's going to be a monster of the week and it's going to be relatively contained. And it's like, yeah, no wonder this show captured so many people. It is so like easy to do that when you have a formula like that.
Yeah, and that's the reason it lasted so long.
It did, yeah. I didn't even come into it until like the last couple of seasons were airing. That's like when I started watching it. And mostly because, like I said, I had friends that were writing fan fiction and I was just like, what the fuck is this? I think I need to watch this. So
yeah. I only read one fanfic and I didn't finish it because I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this to myself. It was a Destiel, and I was like, why is this story so good? I have to exit immediately.
I have written an upsetting amount of Supernatural fan fiction
yes!
in my time. It's shameful. It's the only fan fiction, the only fandom I have ever written fan fiction for is Supernatural.
In high school, I wrote Harry Potter fanfic. It'd be like that. I would love to see like who he's friends with, that he came up and was like, hey, what's up? Let me be in one of your episodes. And they're like, bet, let's write it together. Like, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when that came up, especially after watching Planet Raptor. Because I'm like, the stuff that he gets caught up in, I like it. I don't like that, but I'm just like, he's such an adventurous actor. I feel like he'll take whatever that he's like, okay, and he'll Tedify it.
Yes, he does. He definitely had some moments where like his line delivery was very Ted Raimi, and I was just like,
we're super fans.
See, it's very funny. I really was not very familiar with Ted Raimi outside of like what he was in Xena and in this episode. I'm sure I've seen like a couple movies. Like I'm going through his Wikipedia page. Like I really should look at like what this guy has been in because I'm sure I've seen him before.
He's fun.
He is fun. I really enjoy him.
We're on a mission to convert everyone. I started with L, and
yeah,
I did.
I mean, in fairness, I also love Joxer from Xena, so like I already was inclined to like him a little. So
Who isn't? Oh.
But that also is because like I'm face blind. I can't recognize anyone from anything. If it weren't for you guys talking about Ted Raimi being in this episode, I never would have known.
You're welcome.
Thank you for bringing me into the fold.
It's our duty.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have to do more supernatural episodes in the future.
No, for sure. Because
Force
crazy.
Force me to talk more about this horrible show that I love so much.
Like, it is kind of trash. It is kind of trash.
That's okay.
But like such good trash. It's like really good garbage.
See, the thing about Supernatural, and this is my like kind of theory about fandom in general, but like specifically for Supernatural, is that it has enough good ideas going for it that like you want to see more done with these like good solid concepts, and they have like a lot of good solid themes that you can like really latch onto, but they do it just bad enough that you need to go in and fix it. It's so bad but just good enough that there's a nugget in there for you to explore.
Hell yeah.
But it has to be bad. It has to be bad, because if it's too good, you don't want to explore that nugget. You don't want to like write a fan fiction that like fixes everything. You need it to not be good, and you can't have it be too bad, because if it's too bad, there's nothing worth exploring. So Supernatural is excellent at a good idea, poor execution.
Yes.
Sexy garbage. All right. Final
and look, now no one would ever fuck me.
Your hair's not in a ponytail.
Oh, true.
Correct.
Shit. Okay, just a second. Give me a minute. I got this. I'm totally prepared. I have a ponytail holder right here. You can't even see my hair. Now I have short hair and glasses. Nobody would even fuck me with someone else's dick.
Bro, I'm glad you did that, because for a second I thought you were possessed, and now I know you're.
No, I'm possessed.
Oh no.
No, I'm super possessed, and I'm gonna kill everyone because my hair is big.
Okay, well, you'll have to reach through the internet to kill me, so I feel very safe. We're not gonna rate this episode because we already rated it sexy garbage, but
I just feel like all the Ted stuff, like, it just gets 5 chuds default.
5 chuds for Ted.
5 chuds.
5 chuds.
5 chuds. Period. So yeah, we're gonna do more Supernatural episodes in the future, and in the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interweb at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GATM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at WitchX Pudding.
You can find me at Nocturnical.
I'm not on Twitter, but I'm on Instagram under Taglio Dice.
Yay!
I make dice.
Period.
Beautiful
okay,
dice.
bye.